Hey, nice crisp morning outside. Coffee tastes decent, and we just published an article with Palgrave called Examining the Early Modern Canon, the English short title Catalogue, and the large-scale patterns of cultural production. So I thought that I'd use a little bit of your time to tell the story behind this article. So there's often stories behind how articles come about that we don't really write about in the paper. So I thought of doing a little video blog about this. So this is really the paper, we call it the Canon paper. It's very important for us actually. It didn't start out as a Canon. We didn't call it the Canon paper. It was called March Madness. The editor for this volume where it's published, she contacted me, I think it was February 2019, saying that they are at the very sort of towards the end of putting together a volume about visualizations in 18th century literature, and asking that if we had something to contribute. And I was thinking we had been at that point working for quite a long time, especially with Ali's edition detection, so trying to map different variations and editions and so forth of works in the ESTC. And I had been thinking for a long time that if we focus on the sort of the most often reprinted or works that have more editions than others, sort of a plus 30 editions of the ESTC, that would be a fairly reliable way of looking at the data and making a preliminary analysis of that. So then I talked to the guys and said that what if we try to now, the work that we've been doing for a couple of years, what if we try to turn that into an article in a month or two? So I knew that it wouldn't be realistic that if we start the writing process in February 2019, that we would be finished necessarily in March 2019. It took until now, so it's now early part of 2021 when the book is published. It also tells you a little bit something what kind of cycles of work we are dealing with. But anyway, so we started working on March Madness. And then it was April, then it was March, then it was June, then it was July, but we still call it March Madness. So the work was ongoing. Actually, the paper was finished. I think we were ready with the paper more or less in May 2020. So it was still March Madness, but a different year. But for us, I mean, the relevance of this paper, I mean, we call it proof of concept, and that's what it really is. So this is a kind of paper where we got to the level with ESTC that where we want to be going forward. Also now, then connecting other data sets to as we're already doing in this paper, but taking this further. But here the concept, the canon, once we started really thinking about what are these top most often, so the reprinted works, and how can we look at the cultural production in early modern times. So it was me and Mark who got really into this idea of canonicity and sort of intellectually did a lot of work. Mark worked really hard on this paper, and also this was a way of he had worked on the data issues with respect to the actor data and authors especially. So this was a very good case to showcase that. Also with Ali's edition detection. So for that was work that had been ongoing for a couple of years already, and when we were working on this sort of March Madness paper, Ali and me, we really the work intensified in a way that we took the necessary steps to get where we are with the work detection part which is very, very important for us with respect to ESDC overall. Also, this is important paper because Ville's publisher data that he has been extracting from imprints and combining with different data sets and so forth. So this is the first time that is actually in use in a published paper. So also with that respect, this Canon paper is really, really important for us. So for the future, we've got a lot of plans coming out of this. So the combining the work that we do here, all the data preparation to echo data, which then gives us the advantage of doing different kinds of data mining activities. So that is really prepared here. We've really been believers in the idea that you have to have a very good foundation data-wise before you start dabbling with different text mining techniques and so forth. So this paper, call it March Madness or whatever you want to call, but it really helped us to get there, and I'm really, really, really happy to see this come out, and happy with the people who worked so hard on this paper. Often people don't realize that the actual work that you put into digital humanities papers can be much more than what I would call sort of a regular intellectual history papers. And this March Madness 2019 to March 2021 is a testament of that.